everybody, it's Usernamekate and welcome back to the channel. Today we have something orange and something sexy to play with. It is KTM's 2026 390 Enduro R. Now, although it's Enduro by name, it's not exactly a KTM 300 EXC, a proper thoroughbred Enduro bike. However, this is an A2 compliant machine which has the correct power and weight requirements to mean that it can be enjoyed by all, particularly maybe newer riders who are still on that A2 license. So I have a few days to play with this bike, to ride it on the road, to try and take it on some green lanes and try my hand at not falling off. And I'm actually really excited to give it a go and see what this bike is all about. So if that is something of interest and you'd like to come along with me for the ride, then definitely keep watching. This is the 2026 KTM 390 Enduro R, and it starts from £5,699. It's only available in one colour option, and that is the colour option you see here. Under the skin sits a 398.7cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine, pushing out around 44 brake horsepower and 39 Nm of torque, paired with a smooth 6-speed gearbox and slip-assist clutch. Braking comes via bi-brake calipers, a 285mm floating disc up front, and a 240mm disc at the rear, giving it ample stopping power for the bike's weight. The suspension is WP Apex with 43mm open cartridge forks and a split piston rear shock, each offering 230mm of travel. On the tech side, you get a 4.2-inch TFT display with KTM Connect, Bluetooth pairing, music, navigation, and ride information at a glance. Ride modes are simple but effective: street and off-road mode, selectable on the fly. Crucially for off-road work, the ABS and traction control can fully be switched off when you want maximum control on the loose stuff, including a dedicated ABS off button, giving you full freedom on the dirt. Fuel capacity is a compact 9 litres, the bike weighs 165 kilograms fully fuelled, and the seat height sits at 890mm. Now for reference, I'm 5'4", or 162 centimetres, with a 29-inch inside leg measurement, or 73.66 centimetres, and this is what it's like for me to sit on this Shire horse. Right, I think it's time to ride. Alright team, well, I'm out on the 390 Enduro R, and oh, it's clear. Oh, look at that, it's deliciously clear, which royally helps me out as a short arse, seeing as this bike has a seat height of 890mm. Oh, alrighty then, it's a ripper. So we have another dark and dingy day. Of course we do. It's the north, it's the law. And I think we're graced with about 8 perfectly sunny days a year. Today's not one of them. However, that cannot dampen my spirits because look what I'm on. Oh, this looks mint. So this is KTM's 390 Enduro R. They do an SMCR, a 390 SMCR, which is like this, but obviously much smaller wheels because this rocks a 21 front and 18 rear, and much more road biased rubber so that you can be a proper hooligan and live your best hooligan life. But with this, you can also live your best hooligan life, but just in another way. So this is absolutely KTM's more, off-road, green lane biased machine. In the garage at the moment, I have a 390 Adventure R, and I've been riding that, and it is basically the same bike as this, same chassis, same suspension, same wheels. Very similar stuff. The dash is a bit different, of course. But yeah, that is just made more for touring. You have cruise control as an option on the Adventure R that you don't have on the Enduro R. Because the Enduro R is, meant as an off-roader.
So we are going over Rivi today, but we're going to take our time, just purely because we are on knobblies, and if you've ridden with knobblies on the road, you know it's a little bit riskier than riding with a normal road bike's tyre, especially when there is precipitation. There is rain in the air, which is never good. But I'm going to cover just a little bit on road. And the reason for that is because I'm hoping to off-road this bike in this video. I'm going out with Mike to hit either Old Coach Road, it feels weird going around bends, Old Coach Road in the Lake District, or maybe back to Salterfell to off-road the Enduro R. Yeah, knobblies around bends. But do you know what? It's actually everything else other than the knobbly experience with this bike is really, really pleasant on the road. Honestly, it's a great little ripper. You gotta get it screaming, have fun on it. This has been spec'd with a 226 pound quick shifter, an auto blipper, but with the 390 Adventure R and the 390 Enduro R, it's not like the same as the other KTMs where they have multiple tech packs and all that jazz. Woohoo! Oh, it's so fun! Yeah, they don't have tech packs, they don't have any kind of pack like that. It just comes with a street mode, which I'm in now, and then it has all the street bias, ABS and traction control associated with the street mode. But then you can put it in off-road mode and have it in off-road ABS, and you can switch off the traction control so you can lock the rear and have it drifting out around bends. Not that I will be doing any of that because I simply don't have the capacity, but I'm sure Mike can show off its off-roading prowess a lot more than I can. But because this bike is, like I say, primarily a bit more off-road focused than the Adventure R, I think it's only right for me to include a little bit of green laning in this video. So that's what you'll get. 6-speed gearbox, you've got a 4.2 inch TFT dash that, you know, fits the Enduro R in my opinion. I quite like the bigger one housed on the Adventure R with a screen and all that jazz, but this is very simplistic. No wind protection, but nice clean air hitting you, which is very good. And also I can imagine off-roading this is going to be pretty nice because there's kind of no obstructions in front of you, no screens to look over, no nothing, just you and the road, or you and the rocks. Levers adjustable, foot pegs adjustable, so you can move them to your fancy. So like I say, we're not putting a hot lap in over River. We're just not doing it. In fact, we're just going to test our slow speed now because I don't really want to put my feet down because my feet don't really have anywhere to go. Angle of the dangle. But yeah, we're just having a nice chilled ride over River. Well, the riding position's mint. It's actually really, really nice to stand up on. In fact, because the tank's different on the 390 Adventure, this feels a lot smoother. The plastic's against my leg and I actually prefer standing up on the Enduro R. Like, don't get me wrong, the Adventure R is designed to like dabble in a bit of green laning if you want to go off the beaten track a little bit. But yeah, you can definitely tell like how smooth these plastics are, but just like it doesn't hurt your leg or anything, which is good. Oh, the rain's come down, just what you want on knobblies. But we're just going to take it easy. But just to get an idea of like the road going capability of this bike, say you're going from green lane to green lane, what's it actually like to ride? Well, it's actually really light, it's really nimble, it's agile. The engine, small capacity, 44.3 brake horsepower I want to say. Oh, did you hear that down the box? The blipper, bar, sounded real nice. Lots of Enduro boys out today, and I bet they thought I was an absolute plebeian going around the the bend with my leg out then, but it was more for like dabbing down if the knobblies did me dirty. That was all. It was just a little safety leg dangle. yeah, the brakes, I mean, I was impressed with them on the 390 Adventure. I'm impressed with them on this. Even though it's only a single disc, it doesn't have much to stop whatsoever, just the rider weight and 165 kilograms. So these bikes are super light. Right, keep it upright. Keep it upright. There we go. Hanging off like a little sloth, clinging onto a branch. But yeah, we've got a 9 litre tank as mentioned in the intro. So, you know, it's not going to be your optimum tourer adventure bike. That's why the Adventure has the 14 litre tank. Oh, okay, so the suspension actually, when you go in slow over bumps, it feels quite firm. That's my impression. I wonder what it will feel like if you hit bumps a bit harder. Whether it'll still feel that firm or whether it'll feel softer. Which, you know, firm suspension for people going proper flat out, you know, is probably what you'd want if you've actually got any kind of skill off-road. But for me, I'm usually not going fast enough to appreciate super firm suspension, so I'll have a little bit of a wobble. But yeah, no, that was interesting over that then. But yeah, so far so good on the road. So KTMs have had a few recalls on them. This has had the recall done to help the you know, the cutting out if it gets quite low in the revs. So I believe that was an ECU issue that's been addressed by recall. And then there's the side stand spring as well, which affected a small number of KTMs in the UK. Again, that's been issued as well. But yeah, I feel like for, you know, hopping from green lane to green lane, if you need to ride on the road, it is perfectly manageable and doable and adequate. Right, well, I think I've covered what I need to about the bike on the road. If I haven't, let me know and I'll answer some questions in the comments. But yeah, I think next time you see me, fingers crossed, I'll be riding this off-road, and let's be real, probably in very similar weather. Right team, so we're on the off-road bit. We're up at Salterfell. Mike in front is having a little go on the 390 Adventure R, and I am riding the 390 Enduro R. So I'm going to just give you my riding impressions off-road on this bike as a complete novice wobbler, which is what I am. So this is fitted with the optional extra quick shifter, and I've got to say it's making me as a novice feel quite good, just being able to go up and down the gears, not thinking about the clutch, because when you're thinking about a lot of things as a novice, you know, it's just one less thing to have to do, pull that clutch in. And ooh, there's a fair few hills, but so far I'm just in third gear and I'm finding it great. It's quite an easy bike to just like slip the clutch on when you need to, for me. Like, it really lets you know about it. Oh, it is quite tall though. So as a short-limbed human, this has a seat height of 890mm, and the Adventure that Mike's bike has is 870mm. But we did try and do a seat swap, but because the tank is so different on this, with a 9 litre, that has a 14 litre tank, doesn't quite fit, does it, Mike? It does not. I think I went in the most puddly lane, didn't I? Oh no. We've got a few dollies to watch out for. Dolly! Come on, Dolly, I'm committed to this line now. There we go. Good girl. So for me, as a novice wobbler, at slower speeds, at first I found the suspension quite intimidating because it's quite firm, and I'm not used to firm suspension off-road. I'm used to sloppy jalopy. So the fact that, you know, I was getting bounced around a little bit, but like quite jolty and jarring by comparison to the sloppier suspension bikes I've ridden in the past, it was a bit of a culture shock. But as I'm riding it, I'm feeling a bit more confident with it, because you're just seeing us coming back on this lane, but I've already ridden this lane in the other direction, so it has taken me a bit of time to get into it, but I feel like I am settling now. Oh, through the big bits. My line choice is questionable, feeling quite good. So with this, we put it in off-road mode, so it's got off-road ABS, it switched it off at the rear, and we don't have traction control either, which is pretty good. And the beauty of this bike is when you stall it or you kill the ignition, it saves all the modes as mentioned before, which is pretty good. Would you like me to shut this gate, Mike? Okay, you're a good egg. Oh, clearance on that, nice one. So the height of it, you know, for stopping and stuff, it's actually a lot better than I thought. At 890, it put the fear of God in me, especially going off-road. But because it's got such a narrow stand over the seat, yeah, my leg's dangling on this side, but it's so light and you can just, you can just like quickly put a leg down on the other side if you need it. So I'm not finding it too bad. It's quite light and it's quite slidey in the seat, which definitely helps. So yeah. Yes, Mike. How cool do you look? He's leaving me. Splashing through all the puddles. Taking all the bumps, actually. I feel like, yeah, when you do hit things a bit faster than like wobbling speed, it does actually absorb the bumps quite well, which is good, a lot better. But for like the slower stuff, you really kind of feel the stiffness of the suspension. But no, I've as I've ridden this bike more, I've definitely bonded with it a bit more off-road, like definitely. And I do really like the riding position a lot. I like how there's nothing in my way, so I can see a lot. You know, there's no screen or anything. Yeah, you're never gonna have the steering lock of an enduro bike, but it's because it's a road bike, really. Enduro by name, green lane by nature. Right, I'll take you to my outro.
Do I have to give it back? Can it not just go missing from your stock KTM? Like, no need to know. Yeah, I want to keep it. I love it so much. So, I've had a go with this bike on road and off-road on Salterfell. And yeah, it has surprised me all round. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I mean, I thought I'd like it because I like KTMs, and all this is very familiar. I love everything blacked out with orange pops. The dash is nice, 4.2 inch. Like, it's just lovely, a nice clear display, you can see everything, handguards are nice, you know, mirrors are great. It's just nice. But the one thing that was kind of making me feel a bit, oh, am I gonna cope, is the seat height. 890mm, and for somebody with little punk-ass legs like me, that's a little bit scary, especially when off-roading, because you know, it's kind of just green laning, so I was wearing my textile pants, and everyone knows that the crotch kind of, your flexibility in textile pants because of where the textile ends, you know, you're not quite as flexible as if you're wearing motorcycling jeans where you've got a lot more range of movement. These are literally my motorcycling jeans now. So I was a bit worried that it would be a massive hindrance to me off-road, but you know, because of the weight of this bike and the seat mainly being so narrow and slippy, it was just dead easy for me to put my feet down when I stopped. Like, don't get me wrong, I had to think about it a little bit, like if the road or path sloped, I had to be a bit more calculated with it because I can't just put a flat foot down. But I managed the day with no drops, so that's reassuring, right? But I really, really enjoyed it. It took me a while to get into it off-roading because the suspension is so much more different than what I'm used to. I'm used to sloppy suspension, which just kind of smashes over the bumps and like, well, gloops over the bumps, whereas this is a bit more, felt like I was bouncing around a little bit. But at the high speed, it definitely comes into its own, and yeah, I got used to it and ended up really liking it. The dash is nice when you're off-roading, nice and clear. I just really liked it. Now, of course, my preference for road riding would be the Adventure R, just purely because, you know, if you're on an Enduro R, your intent is to go green laning, you're going to have more knobbly tyres, which isn't going to feel as great on the road, where the Adventure R felt great on the road. But it's a compromise, isn't it? Because then it comes into its own when you actually get on the bumpy stuff and the loose stuff. But yeah, I don't think you're gonna buy this if you want to do massive tours anyway with a 9 litre tank. It's just not designed for that. So if you are looking for just a pure green laning weapon, it is personally something that I would own. Well, as with anything, I'm going to put my pros and my cons on the screen now. Please feel free to pause and peruse at one's leisure. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed filming it, a bit of everything, bit of road, bit of off-road. It's been right up my street, a nice small capacity, you know, lightweight off-roader. So yeah, a nice lightweight capacity off-roader, green laner, right up my street. Really enjoyed it. Alright team, well I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed filming it, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Auf Wiedersehen.